G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the south side of the map, we have got the one, the only, TheViper. And he is playing the Rus for us today in the color blue. Over on the opposite side of the map in the color red, playing as the Rus as well, we have got Marine Lord. And this is going to be happening on the map Lipany. So no Rus coming out on high view here. These guys are opting to play it here now. We're going to do a little bit of movie magic once again. You guys know I love to do this, so what we're going to be doing is just shifting around these two guys just to make it a little bit easier for us to actually understand where these guys are at. So you can see that now we've got Viper on the right side of our screen, Marine Lord on the left side. I know that that might look a little bit scuffed to you guys, so I do apologize, but I am bootlegging this currently. This UI is coming directly off the live stream for EGC TV, so I'm bootlegging it. I'm bringing it over onto my stream just so we've got a little bit of a better idea of where these guys are up to with regard to their resources, because it makes it much easier to spot out. But I'm incredibly excited about this game. For anybody unfamiliar with this game, this is part of Golden League. We are currently sitting in the knockout stages here. This is the semi-finals, which means that Marine Lord and Viper are going to be getting knocked out here if they lose. It's a best of 3. So Viper already up 1 game. You can see reflected by his score at the top of your screens. Marine Lord down 1 game in this series. So it means that if Viper wins 1 more game, that's it. He goes through to the next round. Marine Lord goes home. So obviously both players are going to want to be achieving that as much as possible. But we'll take a look over at how these players are doing. You can see 180 bounty coming in for Viper at this stage. Over on the other side of the map, 185 through for Marine Lord. So both players, very even openings. Now, interestingly, 3 scout openings coming out here. So using the hunting cabinet, and we see an early wheelbarrow coming through for Marine Lord. Down on Viper's side, is he going to be doing the same thing? Indeed he is. So both players looking for that early wheelbarrow technology. A very smart move coming in from them. But Viper doing a great job of just cleaning up the sheep behind the base of Marine Lord's base. But by the same token, Marine Lord going to be looking to run back behind. He's got 4 sheep himself. So both players going to be pretty happy with the hauls that they've gotten here. Now, when it comes to the Rus meta, the way that this matchup should play out, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not familiar with the exception of Boulder Bay. When it comes to the way that this match should play out, I suspect it would be a lot of feudal age fighting. I can almost guarantee you that we are going to see players look to contest the Boar in the center. There is a second Boar that's out a little bit further. The Boar looks almost in a better position here for Marine Lord. Now, one of the things that can happen is players can look to actually lure this Boar. Now, keep in mind the Boar is on a tether. So in Age of Empires 2, you can lure the Boar all the way back to your base. But in Age of Empires 4, it's on a tether, meaning that it can probably come out to about this point here, about, you know, think of it like a circle around the Boar. And so, for all intents and purposes, Marine Lord could actually pull this Boar back to here and kill it. And he would have a much safer Boar spot. By the same token, Viper could look to pull the Boar away over here and then have it slaughtered just so it's in a bit of a better spot for him. So we'll look to see whether players do that or whether they just go for a kill in the middle of the map. The Boar has become the name of the game recently. I'm sure you guys would have seen all the thumbnails or the titles of the videos. I mean, that's what it's all about. And it drives such an amazing game from this Boar being, you know, an important part of it, because players have to, already we see the three scouts moving out. Villagers going to just be murdering the Boar in the middle. Doesn't look like any leashing going to be happening today. So Marine Lord already coming out and taking control of this Boar in the center of the map. Going to be able to keep that scout alive. Villagers all managing to take that down, and 8 villagers on that Boar already. So a great start from Marine Lord. By the same token, Viper going to be looking to scout that out. Probably knows exactly what's happened from Marine Lord. He's looking for that second Boar. He will actually find it. There it is. He spots the second Boar out, finally finding it. It's quite literally the last point of the map that he's checked. I mean, there's no other parts of the map that are black. Obviously, you've got, you know, this bit up here, but this is just a forest, so he knows it can't be there. It was quite literally in that last pixel. By the same token, Marine Lord has scouted it, so he's aware of that Boar's location. But now we begin to see movement out into the middle of the map. Double scout up against the triple scout. They're looking to take out that earlier scout that was weakened by the Boar. Marine Lord in an open position here, so can easily be punished. You would expect that he's going to be putting down that wooden fortress any second, and there it is. With perfect timing, Marine Lord drops that wooden fortress down and rushing it. All 8 villagers doing this right now. So by the same token, back in the base of Viper, he's got his own wooden fortress up, but it's going to be working on his wood gathering rather than protecting the vills. Now, Viper does scout that out. The question is, does Viper look to punish this? And if so, how does he punish it? Because honestly, I don't actually know. Viper just killing a sheep in the middle of the map here. I'm assuming this is just because he wants to go and harass villagers, and he knows if he brings his scouts underneath the base with a sheep, it's going to get killed by the villagers. But now Viper moving out towards the hunting location down towards the south of his base here. He's going to be looking to get up on those deer, and an interesting strategy coming out from him to do this. So when you need to remember that, now stable coming down, you need to remember that Marine Lord's already got his 7 deer carcasses at the back or towards the front of his base, but they're very safe. So Viper is exhausting food now that Marine Lord doesn't have to. So Marine Lord's got a food advantage, and that basically means that he doesn't have to think about professional scouts. That means that he doesn't have to think about, you know, farms for an extra 2,000 food, whereas Viper, I mean, he could be moving out down towards this position, but if I'm being honest with you guys, I would almost say this Boar is even a little bit more favored towards Marine Lord, even though, you know, the difference is barely in it between these two guys. It seems like that spawn difference has really come in, and I think as we move towards the later stages of this tournament, keep in mind we are in the early stages at the moment of this tournament, but I would expect that our map checkers, because we do have people that actually check the map seeds of these maps, they're going to start paying attention to the Boars a lot more. It used to be the relics. You can see the relic distribution here, quite good, quite even. In fact, you could even say it favors Viper a little bit, but the Boar distribution definitely looks a little bit better for Marine Lord, so he'll be happy with that. But now we see units moving out towards the town center, so Viper looking to spice things up, and I gotta be honest with you, I don't know if this is the right play. We'll see how he looks to play it out. He's got to be careful. You can see the knight going to be coming in here. He's going to be able to cancel this town center, at least for now, or at least delay the town center. Villagers heading back towards that position, and yeah, this is just so. The issue is that Marine Lord is going very heavily into his economy at this point in time, and he's not investing a lot of resources for it. So what do I mean by that? Well, the Boar is a great way to get in a lot of food in a hurry. And if we take a look at Marine Lord, we can see he hasn't actually researched survival techniques, just going with the wheelbarrow at this stage. But what Viper is now doing is he is taking all of his existing economy and he's actually turning that into economic units, whereas Marine Lord is putting it into military units. And that's exactly what is happening right here. This is the one base Boar all in. The Marine Lord is kind of becoming famous for. We've seen him pull this out before, and I'll be honest with you, it is very scary, because a lot of civilizations in this position wouldn't be on the Boar. They would be on whether the berries, the sheep, the deer, something like that, but not a gathering as fast as the Boar. The Boar is the fastest gathering food source in the game, full stop, with the exception of like an English farm in Imperial. I think that's probably about it. But Viper under attack down towards this position. But yeah, I mean, we're at 8 minutes into the game. You know, you're not going to be going up against English Imperial farms at that point in time. But now Viper, or rather Marine Lord, digging quite heavily into this position. You can see he does have the double broad axe coming through. So one of the earlier games that we did watch him play, he didn't go for double broad axe on his lumber camp, but now he has actually gone for the double broad axe build. This is actually incredible. The only difference that I'm really not seeing out of him is the survival techniques. He did actually go for a survival techniques build order a little bit earlier, but I'm a big fan of that. I think it's such a smart move in this situation to invest just that small amount of resources into your economy. And now Knight going to be coming out, managing to get a decent connection here on the back line. The villagers don't actually go down. He manages to take down 2 of them to pretty low health. Other one's going to be evacuating at the same time. Knight's on the front line, falling towards that hunt, going to be unsuccessful. So Viper comes up empty-handed in that position, and I'm pretty confident he lost that knight. Indeed, he did lose that knight, so unfortunate for him. And Marine Lord, I mean, he gets a little bit of idle time here, but it's not a big deal. So Viper going to be in a difficult spot because Marine Lord's all-in is coming through. And you can see, look at the production now coming through for Marine Lord. This is it. This is 100% where the money is. And I mean, it's just so incredible to watch this unfold. So he's got the 3 archery ranges making archers non-stop. Stable going to be able to use any of that extra gold that he's got for early knights, and at the same time spears non-stop going to be coming out as well. You'll expect a blacksmith comes down very shortly, probably going to be looking for, there it is, +1 ranged attack. Indeed it is +1 ranged attack. Already got the siege engineering in, so very well played right now for Marine Lord, and he's now adding in the battering rams, and this is a great way to punish your enemy Rus player. Now interestingly, it doesn't look like he's positioning for that second town center, which I would almost feel like is a little bit of a mistake, but maybe he knows something that we don't. And this is quite interesting, okay? If you've got 2 town centers, it's very rare that you're not going to be making 2 sets of villages. So as an example, let's say I've got 2 town centers. I always want to be making 2 villages at a time because that's kind of my win condition, right? Like I've invested all my resources in this second town center, and now I'm going to try and win with it. So if Marine Lord leaves that second town center up, Viper is investing resources into those villages, which Marine Lord potentially knows that he's not going to be able to use to win the game with. If Marine Lord's timing in this situation is actually just able to beat him ahead of that, then he can leave that second town center up. He doesn't care about it, because if that food is being spent on villages, it's not being spent on military units. And as a result, he comes straight down to the food. He cuts off the beast at the neck. Instead of going for the head, he goes for the neck. He says, well, that's fine. I'm just going to take control of your hunting cabin. And now Viper in a very difficult position. He's got military units out, but just nowhere near enough to even contest this. And you can see that this is the power of the Rus economy. He's got that wooden fortress. He's got the lumber camp with the double broad axe in. And at the same time, he's got the forward boar, which has now been completely taken, but he begins to move back towards this position where the hunting cabin, the second hunting cabin, will get made. And now he's got to be careful. The battering ram going to be under attack there from villagers. Doesn't actually have the extra 25 health that comes through from textiles, and now looks to position towards this edge. And you do see that the battering ram did manage to take out that wooden fortress behind the scenes. Battering ram now going to begin working on the infrastructure here. Units continuing to trickle in right now for Marine Lord. Viper definitely looking like he might be in a little bit of trouble. Viper goes for the double town center play, but it definitely feels like it doesn't have the tempo to keep up with what Marine Lord is throwing at him. So many units coming out for Marine Lord, and Knight's going to be coming out, moving towards this position here, and the fight begins to break out. Villagers being pulled, doing the right thing here. Knight's getting in on top of these on top of these archers, rather. Horsemen in this position definitely would have been a little bit better. Just get so much more bang for your buck, but at the same time, Viper going to be able to take down the battering rams, losing a lot of villagers as he does it, but manages to hold, doing a pretty decent job. I got to say, I'm impressed with the way that Viper's managed to hold this, really utilizing those villagers, but at the same time losing a lot of villagers. We see the villager count at the moment is 5 up from Viper, so he's done a good job to keep his head above water at this point in time. But Marine Lord is in, I would say, in retreat at this point is probably the best way to say it. Still cleaning up units on the back line. You can see he's obviously got that +1 ranged defense coming through, +1 ranged attack on Viper's side. But now Viper pushes out, tries to repel this attack a little bit too much. May have bit off a bit more than he can chew. Going to be fighting Archer up against Archer at this point, and needs to be playing it probably a little bit more defensive. We'll see how he looks to do it, though, as the villager count continues to be relatively close. Spearman on the back, going to be able to pick up a scout here, and Marine Lord is definitely going all in. So that is round 1, ladies and gentlemen, of the game. That is round 1 of this game. Round 2 is coming up very shortly. You can see that Marine Lord is now beginning to diversify out onto his second hunt as well. He's got a lot of villagers out here. I don't know why he didn't go for survival techniques. It seems like such a basic tech to be going for. Only 100 gold, 50 wood, and such a strong technology would really empower you, or your economy in particular. But a lot of production here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buildings coming out. And this really just feels like an insane amount of Rus pressure that is getting put out. So the question is whether Viper is going to be able to survive it. That is going to be the big thing, because Viper is going to be, as I mentioned before, he's investing his resources into his villages. And now, because he doesn't feel safe coming down onto this with all of his villages, he's only got 6 down here at the moment, it means he has to look to invest into farms. And where does his opponent go when he wants food? He goes out to the hunts. And obviously this hunt cannot be taken. A little bit of a difficult spot. Viper going to be looking to repel his enemy at this point in time. Getting in a pretty good concave here. He's going to be able to pick up these spears, going to be happy with himself. At the same time, Archer's managing to regroup, has got the +1 range defense. Both of these guys running +1s on ranged armor as well as ranged attack. And now the Knight going to be looking to connect with these guys, managing to make his way through the stealth forest. But at the same time, there's a lot of units coming out right now. Knight also going to be coming in for his opponent, and Marine Lord is definitely looking to turn the tide of battle in his favor. But I feel like Viper may have pushed a little bit too far at this point. Bit of a raid coming down towards the south. At the same time, Viper going to be under attack down there, and has got to be careful. He's up at the moment by 5 villagers, but there's 6 villagers down there. It means if all of them go down, Marine Lord manages to even up the villager count, and we begin to see that villager count dwindling. Viper running back towards the base with his villagers. Another one does go down as he continues to make his way towards the town center, but the battering ram standing by idly, just trying to bait out some sort of hits. It's already taken 30 hits from the archers, but he's going to have to fall back once again. And we are actually seeing so much action coming out of this Rus mirror. Long gone are the days where you expected a Rus mirror to be a fast castle, into horse archer spam, into all the relics being taken, and all, you know, the boring old stuff, professional scouts safely under the TC. We are out on the map. We are having fun, and I got to say, I am actually enjoying this. I came into this game thinking Rus mirror, let me just roll my eyes in preparation, but I gotta be honest with you guys, the way that we're seeing Marine Lord play this, it's looking incredible. My only concern is really with regard to the map spawn. Like, this Boar being slightly closer to Marine Lord, did Viper just make the decision, well, I can't go for it, I can't contest it, and subsequently, you know, he saw it out here, but he just knew that there wasn't any chance. It's just too close to Marine Lord's base, and subsequently Marine Lord gets to convert that into a massive attack now. And you know, Viper can try and do the same thing that Marine Lord was doing, but Marine Lord's just going to be up 2,000 food. So is it going to be worthwhile? Because then Viper's going to transition to farms, which he's doing right now. The questions, I mean, I would love to pick Viper's brain a little bit about why he made the choices that he did in this game, but yeah, I can't help but feel that it's almost like it was from the beginning of the game, it was destined to go this way, just with the Boar being close to the enemy base. But still, we see Viper looking to hold on. Villagers going to get pulled here, managing to make their way back safely inside that town center. Archer mass is really building up, and still we don't see any horsemen coming out, which is very, very curious. Horsemen in this position are so strong because the archer composition, very difficult to deal with mass horsemen. So even 5 or 6 horsemen coming in and looking to burn or attack through these archers is going to do a lot of work. And now you look at the beautiful micro coming out from these players, the shooting, the scooting, the glavin. That was a Simpsons reference. 28 archers at the moment. Battering ram going to be falling back. A lot of pressure getting put on the Viper, and Snake is definitely in trouble, it seems, because, I mean, he's got all of his infrastructure that is still up at the back of his base. You can see he's gathering up stone. He doesn't really have any other choice with regard to what he gathers. 355 stone. I got no idea what he's planning to do with it. Surely not a third town center. He can't be holding this and thinking, I'm going to add in a third town center. That's what I need at this point in time. The only I'm honestly thinking, like, at this point, I don't actually know how you play it. Do you just go for outposts? Is that the way? Outposts with arrow slits, or wooden fortresses, rather, with arrow slits? But even then, it's not a particularly economic investment. Now we see the second battering ram going to be coming out and looking to apply pressure to this second town center. Villager count has evened up. In fact, Marine Lord's actually overtaken Viper at this point, sitting on one villager higher than his enemy. But now the villagers going to be careful. They do get sniped out. Villager count even up there. Viper falling back with those knights, and Marine Lord just dancing with his archers, doing a great job. Finally, we see a horseman coming out. Could this be the sign of a swing happening? The horseman actually going to be very effective. So for anybody wondering why I'm advocating for horsemen, the reason why is because while the knight is a very good raiding unit, if you want to kill archers, you want to be using horsemen. Horsemen have a higher damage per capita than knights do, just simply because they cost half as much. So a knight is dealing 19 damage, a horseman is going to be dealing that exact same amount of damage, and there's 2 of them because they cost half as much. So always something to consider. But Viper slowly getting his forces dwindled down. It looks like the attack is still going down in the wood line as well. His villager count is down by about 2 at this point in time, but still going to be able to keep his head above water, manages to repel the attack once again from Marine Lord, and we have got battles for days right now. This feudal age fighting is exactly what you love to see. I'm so impressed to see Marine Lord actually just doing so well with it and being able to push into his enemy's base. At the same time, Viper manages to hold on, pushing out with the better concave, and you got to admire the micro. Battering ram does go down. He's got to be careful not to overextend. Looks like the knight's going to be running in. He's going to be falling back, getting off 2 damage a shot right there. You can see he's got 20 archers just because there was 40 damage that was done there to that knight, now falling back underneath the town center. Going to be slowly but steadily taking these units out. You can see he's just trying his best, just kiting, preventing the archers from doing too much damage. Manages to take out those knights, but at this point in time, the battering ram's going to be stuck in a bit of an awkward spot. Villagers could easily come out and look to siege this down, but he's got to be so careful of those archers. And now once again, another knight going to be coming through from that northern position. Second knight going to be coming in onto the archers as well. So many units just coming out for both of these guys. You can see the villagers now getting pulled in this position, and behind this, Viper is down on villager count. You can see that he's lost many villagers. He's down 5 villagers at this point in time. Behind the scenes, it doesn't look like a second town center has been added yet by Marine Lord, so still going 1 TC versus 2. Obviously, Viper investing a lot of resources into villagers. Not actually, in fact, I take that back. He's only making villagers from 1 town center. The second town center not making villagers, so doing the wise thing. He knows how important it is that he needs to defend this. Adding in more villagers right now isn't going to help him. He needs units, and now that battering ram going to be down on 85 health. He's doing such a great job of just baiting out the shots, and just the never-ending archer war is happening right now. It is just, how long have these guys been fighting in this position? I feel like my monitor has been on this position for the last 7 or 8 minutes. It's just the never-ending archer war that we've got going on right now. And we'll take a brief look back at the base of his opponent, see how Viper's enemy is doing, Mr. Marine Lord. How many tickets he's got? He's got 2 tickets in the bank. We'll compare it over to himself, who's on 1. So these guys are not forgetting to use their tickets. Plenty of units coming back in the base. Houses being dropped, but stable also being dropped back here. Huge amount of infrastructure coming out for him. Somehow Viper is still managing to hold on. He does obviously have that double broad axe technology, and now going to be moving up towards the north. You can see he's definitely in a bit of trouble here if this gets found out, and now Marine Lord does manage to spot a couple of villagers as he makes the turn around the corner. Knight's going to be able to intercept it here. He's almost shown his hand by doing it, and now Marine Lord immediately moves over towards that position and then changes his mind. But Marine Lord, I mean, Viper from this point probably should be looking to wall this. I would love to see just, you know, tiny little walls coming in here. Look to protect this up. You know, a wall down here. It's going to cost you less than 100 wood to be getting in a wall like that. It's going to save you so much hassle, so much heartache when those raids inevitably do come in. But now looking from Viper's perspective, you can see that he's going to be adding in a market. He's gathered so much stone in the base, he's just going to be looking to sell all that stone out for gold. He could potentially be thinking about a castle age, and I think he is 100% thinking about a castle age. Look at the amount of resources he's got in the bank at this point in time. Marine Lord, however, what is he up to? Doesn't look like he's thinking about castle age. He's just investing his resources. We take a look at his production. He is absolutely just smashing out all these units at this point in time. Is he moving over to farms? It doesn't look like he's transitioning over to farms just yet. Going to be taking the second boar though, so Marine Lord is definitely looking to do some crazy stuff with regard to the amount of food that he is collecting. So he's collected 2,000 food in the middle that Viper obviously didn't get to collect. He has collected up his own hunt back at his base. He's almost finished this one with 250 left on it. So yeah, I mean, he's about, I'd say probably about 4,000 food ahead of Viper, and then throw in the fact that there's a second boar that's going to begin now. That's going to be moving up to 6,000, and now look at the massive knights beginning to build. Viper doesn't seem to have a lot of spears in this position. You can see him trying to defend, trying to hold on with this town center. Villager count at the moment slightly higher for Marine Lord. I don't know whether he's put down a second town center. I don't know how he keeps building up this villager difference, but he's somehow sneaking in some sneaky little villagers. Maybe he's doing some market trading. I've got no idea of what he's doing, but a lot of knights now beginning to move out. Knight's going to be screening, and in comes Viper. He's looking to try and defend on this position. At the same time, we see Marine Lord looking to get in on top of the archers. Knight on knight action, but there's just not enough spearmen here. My fear is that there's just, because of the lack of spearmen, Viper might potentially get cleaned up. Marine Lord doing a massive cavalry switch, and it looks like we are going to be entering into this beautiful position here where Marine Lord actually might be looking to finish the game right now. Viper sitting on the edge of his seat. You can see that he's having such a struggle, such a difficult time holding onto this. The knights are just going to continue coming through, and look at the reinforcements just trickling across the map right now. You can see them all coming out one by one, slowly but steadily, going to be forcing his way into the base of Viper, and Viper not having enough units here. Looks like he's going to be able to take down the battering ram. Manages to get a knight on the back line, but at the same time he's losing his mass here. All of this mass going to be going away, going to be losing its life as well, and unfortunately Viper not looking pretty right now. Marine Lord might be evening up the series right now, ladies and gentlemen. This started out in favor of Viper's enemy, Marine, or started out in favor of Viper rather, but it looks like Marine Lord is going to be able to even up this series, I suspect, just with the large amount of units in his base. He's currently got about 3 times the unit mass of his enemy, and just able to completely overwhelm him. Knight's going to be coming through here and looking to try and occupy some space over towards this wooden fortress. At the same time, we've got archers on archers, and that slight little difference in the knight lead is really what changed the game, and good game gets called. Viper losing the game. Marine Lord ties up the series. Absolutely well played from our players here. Fellas, thank you so much for watching. I'll make sure to catch you guys in the next one, because you are going to be about to see game number 3 between these two absolute legends.